we're going into election. In Germany, this period. In Europe, it's a major concern.
Within this new food standards, 12 new out of the recently adopted law on
number of gaps in its legislative.
We hear many speculation about the criminal situation, that the criminal crime has raised in Georgia, and etc., etc. This is not true, ladies and gentlemen. It's a speculation. Just for your information, just to compare the statistics, what we have now and what we had in the past years. Let's take 2006, 2007, 2008, and 2009. During these years, if we take the same period, let's say January, February, March, April, right? And compare to what we have now, to the existing period. The crime and the number of criminal cases was 20%, 25%, even 30% more than today. But this was not known. I mean, nobody. This was not in television. This was not in the media, and nobody was talking about this. Since October, November, December, crime has increased a little bit, especially robberies and etc. It's a minor. But it has, we had many factors, and it had many reasons, and I can explain this. First of all, the police and the entire Ministry of Internal Affairs was extremely politicized. And during the election campaign, the police was working and was thinking about the election. The police, each police officer was working on the votes, how to get the votes for the election, because this was the instruction of the previous government, of the previous minister, and etc. Therefore, the entire ministry was entirely paralyzed and demoralized. Therefore. So when the new government came into power, police didn't, and police officers didn't know what to do. They were not getting instructions. Starting from November, December, we completed the full ministry. We made some reorganization. We changed the staff, and therefore it took time to put everything in order. We established 2 or 4 new agencies, and it's a long process. I mean, it took about 3 months in order to put everything in order. And therefore, starting from January, the crime is going down and down. And I'm proud to say, again, that besides the fact that we have this unprecedented amnesty and about 11,000 prisoners came out of jail, everything is under control. The borderization process is still going on. It started, I think, 1.5 years ago, last year. And we informed all the embassies, all the representatives of EU, and we're going to hold the presentation on Monday, and we will show at our ministry, and we will show to the world that these specific places where this borderization process is going on. And lastly, I would like to remind you, when we're talking about the personal data protection and the archive that was inherited, right? It's a big shame for us. And I mean, I'm not here to criticize the previous government, of course, but this archive is a perfect example of the previous government, how they were working, what kind of methods they were using against the people, not against the political opponents, but against the members, against the team members. This is a big shame for us, and we would like to destroy this archive on Monday. Most likely this will happen on Monday, but definitely next week. We negotiated with the prosecutor's office that this archive will be destroyed. We would like to propose an amnesty to everybody, that if someone has a copy, a duplicate of this video file, audio file, or any illegally recorded material, they can send to us within 1 month Or if they don't do it, and if we find it, we'll punish them according to the law. We represent the government. I represent the government of Georgia, who arrested my first deputy. I arrested my first deputy because he violated the law. This is how we work. Just for your information, each year our ministry, the Ministry of Internal Affairs, was firing about 3,500 personnel, staff, every year. And nobody has ever talked about this before. Nobody. They just raised this because we're the new government, I'm the minister, etc. And they're saying, you fired people from Constitutional Security Department. Yes, I fired them because they were not real police officers. They were not real public defenders of public safety and order. And you know why I fired them? You know why I abolished this Constitutional Security Department? Because they were executing political orders. This was a political repression machine, and that's why I abolished it. And I'm happy and I'm proud of it. Recent polls show that 95% of the Georgian population think that there's a freedom of speech in Georgia. And it's an enormous, I would say, jump, And this is the real democracy, and these are the real democratic steps that the new government is taking forward. 95% of the population think they can talk about anything they want. When I said I arrested my first deputy because he violated the law. Why we should not arrest someone, let it be former minister or former prime minister, if we find out that he violated the law several times? Now it's up to judge's decision whether he will be put in jail or not. We were elected by the people of Georgia, and people demand to restore the justice.
Yes.
What happened on May 26, 2011? Several people died in the street. And who is responsible for it? Who is responsible? People are asking us. They're asking us to restore the justice. The parents of these killed people in the streets, they're in the queue and they're in the prosecutor's office every day asking to meet the prosecutors. They're in the queue at the Ministry of Interior asking to meet me. What should I tell them? That I cannot restore the justice, I cannot put in jail, I put Vanu Merabishvili in jail because it's a political thing and it's a very sensitive issue. It's a shame. We're the country. And we would like to respect the rule of law. People were tortured in the prisons. They were raped and tortured in the prisons. People were killed in the streets. And who is responsible for it? We had an archive of our political opponents, thousands of videotapes, thousands of audio, illegally recorded tapes. I mean, it's a normal process. Plus, people demand to restore justice. We're not doing this for our personal interests. It's not at all. We're doing this in order to build the real democracy, real democratic country, in order to prepare people to respect the law. That's the only thing. Because just imagine, because I'm the minister now, Minister of Internal Affairs. Let's say that I commit crime, I do some bad things. Time will go, maybe after 3 or 4 years or 5 years or 10 years, there will be a new government. And they find out what I did. I have a question. Should I be questioned? Should I be put in jail or not? If I bribe people, if I use immovable properties of someone without his permission, if I'm blamed to kill somebody, should I be put in jail or not? Is it an immunity, being a Minister of Interior Affairs or not? Former Minister of Interior Affairs. Everybody should be responsible. Everybody should be responsible, and nobody, as I said, should be above the law. This is how we see the nature of democracy. And nobody would be privileged in our country. And that's the country we're building now. Thank you.